God bless you. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to make conchas. Now, conchas are a Mexican sweetbread, and I'm going to be showing you how to make some all from scratch. So if you want to learn how I make my conchas, then please continue to keep on watching. Alright, so to begin, you are going to need 4 cups of flour, 3/4 of a cup of regular granulated sugar. You're also going to need half a tablespoon of cinnamon, 1 tablespoon of vanilla. You'll need 3 eggs, and then you are going to need 8 tablespoons of butter, and this is for the dough that we're going over right now. You also need half a teaspoon of salt. You'll need 1 12-ounce can of evaporated milk, and then you're also going to need 1 tablespoon of instant yeast. So for the topping, you'll need 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 cup of powdered sugar. You are going to need 8 tablespoons of butter, 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and then for the chocolate flavoring, you'll need 1 to 2 teaspoons of Hershey's cocoa powder. That's what I have here. And then for the strawberry flavoring, you'll need about 2 to 3 teaspoons of this Nesquik strawberry powder, and we're also going to add in a couple drops of red food coloring. Alright, so these are our ingredients. Let's go ahead and get started. So what you're first going to want to do is put your oven to the lowest setting. My oven goes all the way down to I think 170, so that's what we're gonna, so 170, so just let it preheat to 170. Do not skip this step. So what we're gonna first do is take our evaporated milk and measure out 1 cup. You're only gonna need 1 cup of it. Pour it into a little container and then go ahead and microwave it for 30 seconds. Alright, so once your milk is warmed up, we're going to take 1 tablespoon of we needed 3/4 of a cup of sugar. We're going to take 1 tablespoon from there. And we're also going to take the 1 tablespoon of yeast and pour it in as well. Then you want to go ahead and mix everything together. You just kind of want to, dissolve the yeast and the sugar. Once you've done that, then you want to go ahead and let it sit for about 10 minutes. Alright you guys, I'm going to be using my stand mixer. This is going to help to knead the dough because I will be mixing it with the dough hook. If you don't have a stand mixer, that's fine. You could mix everything manually by hand or with an electric mixer, but then when it comes to kneading the dough, you are going to make sure to have to knead it for a good like 20 minutes. Alright, so that's 4 cups of flour. So we're just going to sift this into the bowl. I'm going to also put the sugar. Remember, we needed 3/4 of a cup, but we did take 1 tablespoon. So that's whatever was left I put in here. And as well, half a tablespoon of cinnamon. So now we're just going to wait for our yeast to finish doing its thing and then move on to the next step. So on my stand mixer, mixed with the dough hook attachment, I'm going to go ahead and mix it on the lowest setting just to incorporate all of the dry ingredients together. So once that's mixed, I'm going to go ahead and add in the butter, and I did just slice it up into squares, so we're just going to add it in. We're also going to add in 1 tablespoon of vanilla, and then we're going to also add in our yeast. This is what you want your yeast to look like. If it doesn't look like this, then just continue waiting for it to bubble up and rise more, because if it does not look like this, then your bread is not going to rise. So you want to make sure that it looks just like this, okay? If it doesn't, then go ahead and just wait another 5 to 10 minutes and just keep an eye on it, okay? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start mixing this, and then we'll go ahead and add our eggs one at a time. Alright, so once you get to this point, you want to go ahead and just let it mix for 10 minutes. If you have to knead it by hand, just make sure you knead it for at least a good 20 minutes, okay? After about 5 minutes of mixing, You can go ahead and add in your half a teaspoon of salt. If you're kneading, then you want to do that after about like 10 minutes. And at that point as well, you can go ahead and turn off the oven. So after 10 minutes of kneading, then our dough is ready, and you could see it is sticky, but it does come apart fairly easily. And at this point, we are going to transfer into our bowl. You want to go ahead and use a glass bowl, just because it is going into the oven. I put in a plastic, forgetting it was going to the oven. So here we're just going to do the same thing. Just mold it into a ball. Okay, just like that. So my bowl does have a lid that it comes with, so I'm going to go ahead and put the lid on. Once it's like this, we're going to go ahead and put it in the oven. Remember, your oven is off, and we're going to go ahead and put it in there for about 2 hours until the dough has risen and doubled in size. And then I'm also just going to cover it, but remember that your oven is off. All right, so right now we're going to start working on the topping. So I'm going to go ahead and take 1 cup of powdered sugar and then 1 cup of flour as well. I'm just going to sift that. All right, so then next I'm gonna go ahead and add in my stick of butter, and you do wanna make sure that it is at room temperature. And then I'm also gonna add in 1 tablespoon of vanilla. And then make sure with clean hands, of course. We're just gonna start mixing everything together. You just wanna mix it all together until we have like a pasty consistency. Alright, so once your dough comes together like this, I did have to add just a little bit more flour because it was still too wet. But once it comes together like this, that you could form it together like this, then this is ready. And this is going to be the vanilla topping, and you don't have to make strawberry or chocolate. If you don't want to, you could just use the vanilla topping for all the conchas. Alright, so I have it formed to like a little block so I can get even amounts. Fingers and 3 fingers. So we're just going to flatten this one out to make the chocolate. And then I'm going to take a teaspoon of the Hershey's cocoa. And you do want to sift it first. And then you just want to mix it all together. So you just want to mix everything through until you don't see any more powder. Alright, just like that. So once it's like that, you can go ahead and either wrap it in plastic or put it in an airtight container. Alright, so now for the strawberry, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, just flatten it out. And then I'm going to take 2 teaspoons of the strawberry nesquik, and this is what's going to give it that strawberry flavor. Alright, so then you go ahead and mix that as well. You just want to combine all the powder to the vanilla topping. And then once it's combined, you can go ahead and add in a couple drops of red food coloring. And then just mix everything together. Once it's come together like this, then again, you can either wrap it in plastic or just put it in an airtight container with the lid. Then I'm going to prepare the baking sheet that we're going to use to bake the conchas. I'm just going to spray it with some cooking spray to line it with parchment paper. The cooking spray is just to act as glue for the parchment paper. So once our dough is done, this is what it's going to look like. Before anything, I am going to sprinkle the countertop with some flour, and I am sifting it on the counter because I don't want any lumps or anything. And it's just enough to keep the dough from sticking. And then we'll out. Okay. Then you want to push it inward to remove all of the air. Then I'm going to flip it over, and then I'm going to try to form a log, so that way it makes easier for dividing the dough for the amount of conchas that we're going to make. And then you just want to try to make them as even as possible. Let me do half again. So then we're going to start forming our dough into little balls. And you want to start forming, make sure your hands are floured so nothing sticks. And then you want to start forming like pockets like this, like so you go from under over to form it. You want to roll it until there's like, until you don't see like this pocket on the bottom. So then once your dough looks like this, then go ahead and set it on your baking sheet, and then just repeat the process until you've made all of your dough into balls. So once you have all of your dough formed, you want to go ahead and take that extra softened butter and just grab a little bit between the fingers, and then you want to go ahead and just massage each pieces of your dough, and you want to make sure that each one is nicely greased. Okay, so once they're all greased up, now we can put these to the side, and then we're ready to work on our toppings. Now we're ready to work on our topping. I'm going to be using a tortilla press to press them. If you don't have one, you could always make them by hand, but I'm going to be using this. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this in half. And then I'm going to grab some of that butter that we used to grease the conchas, and then just go ahead and roll up the dough. Alright, so once it looks like this, then we're going to go ahead and place it on top of the concha. And then now you just want to repeat the process until you have all of your toppings made. So just showing you the chocolate. Go ahead and grab the butter to massage it. Roll it up. Yeah. This is what you will come out with, and then you just make sure you push it on top of the concha. Alright, so once all of the dough is covered, if you do have a concha cutter, you can go ahead and use that and just make the design. I don't have that, so I'm just going to use a knife, and I'm just going to carve about four lines going into each one. Alright, so now you want to go ahead and place these in a 325-degree oven for about 18 to 20 minutes, or until the bottom has turned into a nice golden color. Alright, so once they come out, they're gonna look like this. I did put them a little bit past 20 minutes, maybe about 25 minutes, but that's just because some of them are fairly larger. I also wanted the bottom to look like this. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just let them cool off, and then we'll be able to taste. Alright, so here they are cooled off and plated up. Now we're gonna go ahead and taste.
It's the best part of the video, me trying out my wife's wonderful food. This is a chocolate concha.
Mexican bread.
Mexican bread. Chocolate está bueno.
You like it? Let's see the inside. Can you show us the inside? See how
fluffy it is.
How fluffy and airy it is.
Perfect, baby. Perfect.
It's a thumbs up.
Wow. Follow the recipe.
Alright y'all, that wraps up this video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. Please let me know if you give this recipe a try. Comment below and let me know how it went for you. But thank y'all so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to subscribe to my channel if you're not already. God bless y'all today and always, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!